About 2 months ago, a video came across my feed. The title was something along the lines of "Long hair is a white woman's standard." It had over 50,000 views, and the majority of the comments agreed with the speaker. But a few didn't. A few women pushed back, defending why they personally wanted long hair. I was among them. I asked the speaker directly in a comment, how did she arrive at the conclusion that only white women had long straight hair or long hair, because that is a specific claim and I wanted a specific answer. Then something interesting happened. A woman posted 1 Corinthians 11:15 in the comments, the one that says long hair is a woman's glory and her covering. And I responded to that saying, this is why I desire long hair. Both comments got deleted. And then the creator changed the title of the video and completely removed those sections entirely from the video. That told me everything I needed to know, because when you delete the scripture and change the title, you are not trying to have a conversation. You are literally pushing a narrative. And that is what today's video is about. There is a very specific kind of messaging circulating in Black women's spaces, and I need to talk about it because it is subtle, and subtle misinformation does the most harm. The messaging goes something like this. If you want long hair, you have internalized Eurocentric beauty standards. If you want to get married, you are a pick-me. If you want children, you have been victimized by the patriarchy. If you want to stay home and raise your children, well, you are setting women back. Every single desire on that list is traditionally feminine, and every single one comes with a label designed to make you feel ashamed of wanting it. That is not liberation. It is operating like the same system it claims to free women from, a cage, except with better empowerment branding. We lose women when these messages go unchallenged. We lose women who had a goal, who were working toward it, who needed one voice to tell them it was okay, and instead found more voices telling them their desire was a symptom of their own oppression. And they stopped. They let go of something that was theirs. Today, I am specifically talking about long hair because that is the one that is personal to me right now. But this is not just about hair. There is a pattern here, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. There is a version of female empowerment that has decided the most liberated woman is the one who wants the least. The woman who does not need marriage, does not want children, does not want long hair, does not perform femininity in any traditional sense. And that woman gets celebrated. She gets called brave, evolved, she gets called unbothered. And the woman who does want those things, she gets labeled a pick-me, Eurocentric, brainwashed victim of the patriarchy. I call this desire policing, when a woman's wants are treated like evidence against her character. I need someone to explain to me how telling a Black woman what she is allowed to want is liberation. It's the same control women's liberation claim to part ways with. And let us be historically accurate here. Long hair is not a European invention. Long hair has been documented across African cultures, Asian cultures, indigenous populations, all over the world, across all of human history. The idea that a Black woman who wants long hair is chasing whiteness is not only historically inaccurate, it is its own form of conditioning. And I know what the counter is, that the beauty industry profits from Black women wanting long hair. And that is worth being critical of. I agree, but being critical of an industry is not the same as telling a woman her desire is the problem. And here's what gets me. The same energy spent criticizing Black women for wanting long hair is almost never spent criticizing Black women for cutting their hair. Nobody is making videos or saying that you are trying to look like a man. Nobody is attaching labels to that. The criticism only flows in one direction. Now, I want to be fair because there is a real conversation to be had about the ways Black women have been sold damaging products, harmful practices, and unrealistic expectations around hair. That is real. The damage done to Black women's hair in the name of beauty standards, right? Relaxers, excessive heat, years of neglect. That is worth talking about. But that conversation is not the same as telling a Black woman she should not want long hair, especially when all the hair she has been wearing before that was not hers was always past 20 inches. Acknowledging past harm does not mean we cap our goals. It means that we pursue them more wisely. And the women I am seeing on this journey, the ones who are retaining length, who are being patient and consistent and intentional, they are not chasing a European standard. They are doing the work, and the work is proof enough that this is personally their desire. And I know all of that because I have been on both sides of it. The woman who was told to let it go and the woman who decided not to. I'm not talking about any of this abstractly. I have lived inside this messaging. I have been at shoulder length my entire life. Every single year, same length, not because I did not care, but because I did not yet have the knowledge and the consistency to push past it. And when I started publicly wanting more for my hair, I encountered this, that I should be content, that chasing length was chasing something that was not mine to chase, that I should focus on health, not length, as if I cannot want both. But I do want both. I want healthy hair and I want it long. And those two things are not in conflict. In fact, one produces the other when you do it right. In my experience, growing long natural hair requires you to become a different kind of woman. More patient, more consistent, more willing to learn and adjust and try again. And the entire time I am becoming this woman, the thought of conforming to Eurocentric standards never once crossed my mind. This journey requires you to stop doing what is comfortable and start doing what is effective. It requires real faith, right? That what you cannot see in the mirror is still on its way. For me, that faith is rooted in something spiritual. My faith tells me that this desire is not vanity, it is about stewardship, taking care of what I have been given by the Creator and believing that the care I put in will compound over time into something I have never seen on myself before. My hair is now the longest it has ever been. I know shrinkage won't show you that, but it isn't because I got lucky. But I finally stopped doing what was not working and got honest about what my hair actually needs. This was never just about hair. It was always about whether I was the kind of woman who quits when the progress is invisible. I am not that woman. You do not need permission from anyone but God to want what you want. Now, before you run off with this, I want to be honest about something because I think this is where the conversation needs more honesty on both sides. Desiring long hair is not the same as idolizing it. I believe in God's jealousy. I fear Him, and that means I do not want long hair more than I want His will. If my hair never grows past where it is right now, and God makes clear that this is where I am supposed to be, I will lay it down without argument. But He has not told me that. In fact, He has promised it. So I'm going to steward what He gave me with everything I have. And here is the detail that changes everything. If that video had taken a balanced approach, if it had said, be careful not to make hair an idol, be careful not to let your worth live in the length of your hair, I may have agreed with parts of it. That is a legitimate conversation. That is worth having. The pattern says whatever a Black woman desires that looks traditionally feminine, that desire must be explained, defended, and eventually surrendered. Do not shrink your goals to fit someone else's idea of what freedom is supposed to look like. My freedom includes my desire for long hair, and I will not apologize for that. I want to be visible for the woman with low density hair who thinks her hair cannot grow. I want to be visible for the woman who has been at the same length for years and does not know why. I want to be visible for the woman who has been told, directly or indirectly, that wanting more for her hair means something is wrong with her. Nothing is wrong with her. She just has not found her regimen yet. And when she does, everything changes. You are allowed to want what you want. You are allowed to want long hair and marriage and children and a beautiful home and a faith that sustains you. And none of that makes you less free than any other woman living on her own terms. None of that makes you a casualty of someone else's standard. What you want for your hair, you get to define. Not the culture, not the commentary, not the women in the comments who have decided that your desires are evidence of your conditioning. Your desires are yours. Your hair journey is yours. Your goals are yours. Stay in your lane, work your regimen, be consistent, be patient, and be excited about what you are building. Because there is a woman watching you right now who needs to see that it is possible. We are not ashamed. We are not backing down. We are not surrendering our goals to fit someone else's version of our liberation. And with that being said, you are God's standard of beauty. Take care.